Hello friends, good morning, good afternoon. In this session, we are going to understand primary key in SQL Server. First of all, we will see the definition of the primary key and its characteristics. Uh, yeah, why primary key is used? Because it uniquely identify every record in the table. Means suppose there are two records. Means let's say Ganesh Khedkar is the one record, and again there is a one record. They are belongs to one city, but they are having the different name, sorry, different Aadhaar card number, correct? So how to identify that? So with the help of second and third, means this is the primary key, or we can say ID of that particular record. That's why with the help of this we can identify, means uniquely identify every record in the table. And what is the characteristics of primary key? Means they does not allow null value in the column, and it does not allow duplicate value. Means every record should be a unique, correct? And when we create the primary key on the table, then clustered index is generated automatically on that column. Means suppose there is a, here for an example, I am creating the primary key on this ID column. Then in the background, clustered index will create. How? What is index? What is clustered index? What is non-clustered index? So we will see in a few seconds. Hmm? Before of that, I will means show you example and how that primary key works, and then we will go to the index. And zero value is allowed in the primary key. Means suppose from interview point of view, someone for, this is the tricky question, zero is allowed, yes, no problem, because it allow in the primary key. And next thing, mm, they will also ask null value can be insert into the primary key table, means primary key column, no, because it does not allow null value and duplicate value. Got it? And means they are uniquely maintain the record, that's why. And here is another question is generated from the interview point of view. If you create the primary key, at that time in the background clustered index will create, correct? No problem. But if I have to create the clustered index on another column and primary key in another column, is it possible? Answer is yes. How to do that? Yeah, I will explain you in the few seconds. So a few seconds or a few minutes. Actually, I have to show what is index and then how to switch that index on another column and primary key on the another column. Okay, means here is the ID as a primary key and clustered index on the Aadhaar card number. Got it? Okay, so we will see. And index, then I have to explain you clustered, ERED, clustered index and non-clustered index. And okay, and we will see in few session, few seconds. Yeah, actually, first of all, I am giving you the example. Means this is an example, like the ID is the column name, first name, customer is the table, correct? And in that customer there are five columns: ID, first name, last name, city and Aadhaar card number. We can make the city as a city ID, means city ID and city name in the different table, and we can grab their ID in the this column as well. But right now I am making it as a varchar. And yeah, right now our objective is, means uh, learn the concept of the primary key. So here is the ID and I am making it as a primary key column. So what it will accept means it does not allow null value, correct, and it does not allow duplicate value. If we enter 3 again, then it will showing us the error, yeah, primary key violation error, correct. So it allow only unique value, got it. And one more thing, here are the two records, Ganesh Khedkar Pune, they are belongs to one city and they are having different Aadhaar card number. Yeah, means these are the two different records. How to identify with the help of this primary key means uniquely identify every records in the table with the help of primary key column. And one more thing, yeah, we will see I through the script. First of all, I am closing it. Yeah, here is the customer table I create. Got it. Yeah, miss we created the customer table. And right now I am inserting Ganesh Khedkar Pune, and with their different Aadhaar card number. Correct? Yeah, three records are inserted. Let's see. So here, what it showing us here means Ganesh Khedkar Pune. But these two records are uniquely identified. Correct? Means with suppose there is a two means in bank account means there are means same person name, but they are having the different bank account number, they are having their different social number, security number, different other card number, as well as their ID is different in the table, correct. So let's see. Miss right now you got the clarification about the primary key means it does not allow null value and duplicate value, got it, even not single null value as well, got it. So yeah, and if I'm making as a select star from customer, so we are getting all the data as it is, means we are getting the all the records means, but they are arranging or they are getting with the help of ID as a 1 2 3 in the ascending order. Why? Because data is stored in the form of clustered index. Yeah, correct. If we create the primary key at the background, I said clustered index will create. So if I'm uh, miss select it and alt F1, so you will get, yeah, these are the table means when it is created these are the columns, and here is the identity means on which table on which column identity is set, and then next is the index means here is the clustered index, clustered unique, primary key is located on primary, and who is the ID, yeah, ID is the clustered index, got it. So if we see, um let's refresh it and customer. So yeah, here is the symbol primary key. Got it? If you right click on it, design, then yellow is the uh, indication of that means this is the ID is the primary key. Got it? And constraint is nothing. Okay, and indexes means there is a clustered index is create. Yeah, you could see there is a in bracket there is a clustered is present. Correct? Clustered word. Right click on it or right click script able as. Here you could see add primary key clustered. Got it? Means based on the clustered key, data is stored in the background. Got it? What I will do, I will drop the miss that particular primary key on the table. First of all, I have to copy the name. Means how to copy that name? Yeah, here there is a constraint name. Sorry, constraint name. Yeah, copy it drop existing constraint. Yeah, and if you see, there is a no primary key is present right now. If we refresh it, correct, no key and no indexes on it, because I dropped the that primary key constraint. Got it? And if we have to add the primary key, and by default I am making it as a primary key as id, and yeah, here then there is a ascending order. If we have to make it as a in a descending order, then you have to mention that id as a descending, create it. Then let's see. First of all, select star from. Previously it was a 1 to 3, but right now they are in a 3 to 1, because they are storing the data in the form of whatever you mentioned at here, clustered index. Got it? Actually, I will explain all the things related to the index, clustered index, non-clustered index in the separate session. But just for time being, understand, yeah, in the when we create the primary key in the background, clustered index will create. Only keep in mind. Yeah. And next thing here, index. First of all, we have to understand the index, clustered index and non-clustered index. If there are n number of records, means 1, 2, 3 up to the 92, means n number of records or a million of record, correct? And I have to search that particular record, means there is a 10th record. So what we have to do, actually we have to create the index on this column, so it will be a search fast. Means suppose let's say in example I am taking the other example because here only 2 to 3 records. So in HIMSDB, there is a patient is the table. I am uh, top 10 control Z, select star from patient. So 50k records, correct? And I have to check where patient ID is equal to 1000. So you are getting the record very fast. Why? If you see the execution plan of it, click on it and include execution plan and then execute. So in the background execution plan, and in that there is a clustered index seek, means there is a seek scan operation as well, but before of this there is a clustered index is the operation, correct? Means it retrieve the record from the table very quickly and it scan only one record. You could see there is a estimated records per execution 1, means last 6 or last 7, means there is estimated number of rows to be read, only one record, because it directly point to the that particular record and seek, means that seek operation is done and retrieve the result very fast. And same is the case in here. If we select start from customer where id is equal to 3, means before of this my index, why index is required? To search data very fast. Means suppose there is a one topic in the book, yeah, and if that topic is not mentioned in the index, we can search it easily? No, because in book there is a index first and then there is a means index is the just heading, we can say. Yeah, means constraint is the heading, and in that constraint, if there is a SQL book and in SQL book there are multiple topics, but first of all you will go to the constraint and then again in that constraint you will see there is a primary key constraint, foreign key constraint, unique key constraint, and then there is a not null and you check constraint. Correct? These are the constraints. Means here is the book SQL book, and in that there is a constraint is the topic, and in that there are some different subtopics. So and primary key on the page number 555, then it is on the 58. Correct? So so you will go directly on that page and you will find that particular description of the primary key. Correct? Or let's say there is a 65, so it is quickly understand. Means same in the SQL server there is an index, with the help of that we can identify or search the data very quickly. Got it? And one more thing, again, clustered index and non-clustered index. Actually I will show you all the details, means about the clustered index, non-clustered index in the detail, but it is just for the means I'm giving you the brief explanation about the clustered index and non-clustered index. Clustered index is nothing but the there is a all the records are in a clustered way. Correct? Clustered it means there is a similar group of records in a one chunk, and in non-clustered this is the secondary index we can say. Primary index is the clustered index and secondary index is dependent on the primary key. Means suppose that particular non-clustered index we create, it is finding the record based on the primary key. Or if that table does not have primary key, then the table having the uh, row address. Correct? So based on that row address, it contains that particular row address. Then it will point to that particular row address and retrieve the result. Means suppose here is the id is the column, here is the primary key. Correct? So based on that cluster index will create, no problem. But if we have to search the Manish record, correct, then we have to create the index on first name, means non-clustered index on first name, and then it will sort the data, means a b then c, and then where is the m is the Manish. Correct? Like this. Correct? I am so yeah, Miss Yum, and Yum stands for then Manoj and all others name. Correct? And there is a Manish as well. Correct? Manish. So such like that these records are in a clustered order, and again Manish is come. Correct? So they will retrieve their row address, means whatever there is id as a Manish is the one, then again Manish is the four address. So this is nothing but the id of that particular key, and that id is belongs to the clustered key. Got it? So clustered index is nothing but there are, miss, let's say we can create the clustered index on other as well. Miss, we can create the clustered index on Ganesh as well, no problem. Miss Ganesh, all the records belongs to Ganesh are in a one cluster. Miss, if we filter the data, then it will grab the data from the database very easily. And normal practice is we are applying the clustered index on the id column. Why? Because from, means their data type size is a miss more as compared to the integer database data type size. Correct? That's why majorly we are considering the good candidate for the clustered index is the their primary key, and there is a integer column. Got it? And second thing, I have to create, and one more thing, I have to write one more question. Can we create clustered index on the table more than one clustered index on the more than one clustered index on one table? Is it feasible? Answer is no. Why? because actually clustered index determine the physical order of the table. That's why we can set only one clustered index per table. Here uh, uh, there is an id, correct, means either ascending or descending. You can save the data into the table, means in the physical location, but in the means right now id with first name, so we can't do that. That's why yeah, we can do the composite primary key, it is possible. But if there is a two columns, means there is a clustered index on id column as well as clustered separate clustered index on city column, then it will be a confusion. That's why we can set only one clustered index per table, because it determines the physical order of the table. Got it? And based on the physical order, yeah, that's why it is showing as a 1 to 3, and if we make it as a descending, then it will show as a 3 to 1. And one more thing, there is a tricky question. Duplicate value can be allowed in the can duplicate value allow in clustered index? Yes or no? Answer is yes. Why? Because they are sorted in a one clustered, means they are sorted in a one order, physical order. That's why, means all the Manish records in a one by one, all the Ketan records are in a one by one, in a one fashion, correct, so that we can store. But right now we are creating the primary key, so that's why it is does not allow the another key, means there is a one, then 2 and 3. If we are making the entry as a 3 again, then it will not allow, because this is the characteristics of primary key. If we make the clustered index on first name and primary key on the id column, it will allow, means on id primary key we are not passing the null value to it and duplicate value to it, correct. But if we are saying as a clustered index on the first name, it allow, because Ganesh, there is another Ganesh user, and let's say Ganesh Kale, correct. So it will allow, because we are means there is a clustered index having the property, we can uh, that can allow clustered, means clustered value multiple, or we can say one name, or there is a clustered, means there is a group of things in a one entity called as a cluster, correct. So Ganesh are act as a one entity group, and this is nothing but the one cluster. Got it? And yeah, these are the tricky questions, so need to careful about it and do it seriously, because it is the fundamental thing. And from 1 year of experience till the 15 year of experience, it can be asked. Yeah, there is a one question in inter point of view. How to create the primary key on other column which is not primary key column while creating the table. Means suppose, let's say, for an example, yeah, here is an example. Is on customer table, I am creating the primary key on ID column and clustered index on Aadhaar card number. So unique clustered, this word is very important from interview point of view. You have to say this word, then that interviewer easily understand. Yeah, with the help of unique clustered, we can create the clustered index on another column and while creating the table. Because in few seconds I will saying, means I will show you after the table creation how to handle that. But right now this is the way to create the clustered index with primary key, means clustered index on another column and primary key on another column while creating the table, correct. So yeah, this is the way, and let's see how to miss check. Yeah, press alt F1, and then there is a, yeah, you could see there is a primary key non clustered index, and here is the clustered index. Got it? How to check? First of all, from UI point of view, you can do the check, that check as well. Refresh, and which table? Customer table, correct? So go to the customer table keys. Yeah, here unique clustered is key is created, and here is the primary key. Got it? And constraint triggers indexes. Yeah, here you could see there is a primary key, but in the yeah, here is the clustered. Got it? Yeah, right now my objective is to create the clustered index on the first name and primary key on the ID column. Correct? So what I have to do? First of all, I have to create the clustered index on um, which name? First name column. Correct? And there is on customer. So if I trying to create, first of all, I need to drop this previous constraint. Correct? So what I will do? Alter table. Yeah, this is the DDL command because altering the table, correct? Alter table, table name, then drop constraint, constraint name. Drop const, drop constraint, constraint name. Yeah, existing constraint we have to drop, correct? Then we can create the clustered index on other column. It will, yeah, it will create the clustered index on first name, correct? Got it? And there is a another thing. If we insert means we have to create the primary key, correct? If we have to create the primary key, then we have to give this yeah, means constraint means we are adding the primary key constraint on the ID column. Got it? So let's see. Here you could see there is a clustered index on the first name, and non-clustered index means on the primary key column, and there is a non-clustered unique primary key is located on the primary column. That means this is the way to create the um, clustered index on another column and primary key on another column. Let's say I have to insert. What I have, first of all, I am inserting different value. I am putting my name Sagar, then Sagar, and then again Ganesh. Got it? I am, yes, one. Okay. Oops, I am modifying for records. 12-digit number. Yeah. Right now table having the six records. Got it? Yeah. And yeah, see, please carefully see it first. Means we are not getting the records from this order. We are getting the records from the this order. Miss Ganesh is the first. A B C D wise G is first, then M, and then yes. S- Because we are applying the clustered index on the first name column and primary key on the ID column. Correct. So it uniquely maintain the record. If I am inserting another three records, but actually if right now we added the identity, that's why it is one by one increment. If we provide the value, then we have to disable the identity, and then we can provide the identity ID value for it. And can null allow in the clustered index? This is the another question, another tricky question. Let's see practically. Allow in the clustered index. I think spelling is mistake. Clustered. Okay. Oh, here, yes, correct. That's why, because here we didn't set not null. See carefully, and it allowed value, null value. Select star from customer, null record will appear at the first. Sorry, actually I put the string. First of all, I have to make them as a null value like this. N U double yes is instead of the without single quote. This is my bad. And I'm making changes in it. Or yeah, null allow for sure. Correct. Miss null will appear at the first, then G, then Manish null. This is the string. That's why this can be accepted. So Sagar and Sam. Got it. Means ABCD wise, there is a arranging all the data, and yeah, we can insert. It is a tricky means from clustered index or and let's see there is a non-clustered index. If we have to search the data from last name columns like the Khedkar, correct? So we have to create the index on the how to create that on last name. Let create index, create index name ix underscore table name customer un, underscore L name. We can last name mention as well, no problem. Create index name on table name. This is the syntax. On which column we have to set? Yeah, last name. Got it. So we can provide this means sentence or means we can provide this syntax as well as there is a non-clustered create index, create non-clustered CLUS. Yeah, both are allowed. Got it. Means either this or this. And if you see, press and add select star from customer where last name is equal to Hedkar, then yeah, you got the two records. And how this got, yeah, there is a execution plan clustered index scan. There is a first name is scanned, and right now predicate what's there is a if you see there is a in predicate there is a customer dot last name is equal to Hedkar. Miss we can force miss we can directly go actually right now this is the primary key. Miss first name is the called here means clustered index. Miss we have to make the as a we have to call as a, this particular name index, then we have to make it as a different query, and then that index will call. Yeah, you could see there is a select last name from customer where last name is equal to Khedkar. Yeah, here you could see there is a customer L name and there is only two records scan. And previously there are other 12 records are means retrieve means there is a estimated number of rows per execution 12 previously, and right now it is only two because it right now here is the proper index is called index seek operation is called index seek index scan. I have to explain all these things, but right now just only see. Yeah, I am creating the primary key and in the background there's a clustered index is create, like, and I explained different tricks means different questions on the clustered index means what is that and how to do that, correct? And what is the clustered index, what is non-clustered index, and performance wise clustered index is always better. Why? Because it primary index on that particular table it having the actual table data means slip level pages data. That's why it is the fast as compared to the non-clustered index. Non-clustered index is the one another lookup means one another flavor added based on that particular heap table or a cluster table. Got it? Then I have to again saying I said there is a term heap table means there is a nothing index on the particular table, then we can call it as a heap table. Got it? If table having the index, then we can call it as a clustered table. Got it? And yeah, I given answer means about that primary key, clustered index, non-clustered index, and how to create on another, correct? So we will see one more thing related to the how to create the clustered index or how to create the primary key in different way. How to means there are different ways. With the help of that we can create the primary key. What are the different ways? First of all, if creating the table, at that time we are creating the primary key. Got it? Means let's say I am giving you the one by one example. There is a with the help of this we can create the primary key. Got it? And yeah, miss on emp id I am creating the primary key on the particular, sorry, with the help of the primary key this syntax we can create the primary key on the emp id column. On the emp id, emp is the table, and next one is how to create the primary key using the constraint. Yeah, another way, this is the another way, means we can directly, but here we can't mention the name of the particular column, constraint name. Means there is a, if we have to mention pk underscore something, like here we mention pk underscore uh, my table 2, correct, underscore column name as a id. It is the means a standard way of creating the constraint on the particular column. Based on that means we are creating the primary key on the id column. Yeah, if you see control r, then alt f1, and you could see there is a index name, means my table 2 and underscore id. Means we can easily, if we don't know, means suppose here I am creating the emp as a 5, and let's create it. So in the background it will create the some uh, number in the background. Yeah, here you could see pk underscore emp5 underscore af for such numbers, correct? So if we have to restrict that, then we have to use this constraint. Both are the same. Yeah, nothing means no any difference in between that. Either you can create at here or you can create at here, but we have to provide the name, then it is the standard way of practice. Yeah. And one more thing, if we create the table before and miss emp is table is created, and I have to create the table on existing column, miss table emp6 is created already, and I have to create the primary key on it. How to create that? So with the help of alter command we can create the primary key after the table creation. Means suppose here is the alter table emp, and I am adding the new column as a id, and with identity, yeah, identity value, and I'm setting it as a primary key. Oh, I have to set as a emp6. So based on that identity value, data is stored one by one in the lib pages of the SQL server. And we are making the primary key on the id column because that id is generally not modifying, correct? Suppose here is the id 1 2 3 4 5 6, means this is the id basically belongs to that particular table, and we are not modifying it, we are modifying this structure, but rest of the things are same. Means where uh, first name is equal to ganesh is equal, means last name and first name is not modified generally, and there is a pune, if that particular customer is from pune to nashik or pune to mumbai, then we are modifying that value, but that id is not modifying generally. That's why we are making a primary key as a on id column. Actually generally it is a knowledge point of view, but practically no, we'll ask, but for our knowledge, yeah, we need to keep in our mind. And next thing, Actually, what I did in this example, I created the another column, means there is ID, but I have to create the primary key on EMP ID column, means on existing column, then or ID column. Then how to create that? First of all, here is the EMP7 I am creating, and ID is the column, correct? And I have to create the primary key on that. First of all, I am adding it. Let's say here, alter table, alter column. Sorry, we have to, with the help of add constraint, we can add the primary key, means alter table emp7, and add constraint name pk underscore emp7, and then id. Got it? And yeah, I on id column I am setting it. Is it possible? No, because as characteristics per, as per the means when we see there is a first characteristics of that particular primary key, there is it does not allow null value. That's why the previous values is not, means that column having the constraint as a not null, then and then we can uh, we can do the primary key on the id column. Got it? First of all, what we have to do, we have to, means that table should be in this form, emp id, and sorry, or we can drop the existing table first and then create it. Drop table, means it should be a not null, then and then. Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I'm just copying. Yeah, not null. And yeah, you could do here, means not null constraint will add first, and then you have to apply the primary key, because it is the basic rule of that primary key. Primary key does not allow null value, and primary key does not allow duplicate value. So please keep in mind these two things are very important for the primary key. And yeah, how to drop the primary key? Very simple. Means here alter table and drop constraint name. That's it. Yeah, means that particular table does not have any primary key. It is the um, syntax for the drop constraint. And one more thing, when we have to build, there is a primary key and foreign key relationship in between two columns, correct? Or miss two tables, miss primary key foreign relation between two tables, correct? So how? Yeah, here is an example. Create table customer, correct? I am making it as a, first of all I have to drop the table because that table is already present. Drop table customer, and I am creating again. Got it? And I am, there is a customer having the bills, means I am creating the one another table bill, and in that bill I am referencing that particular customer ID. Means suppose there is a one customer and one customer having the n number of bills, correct? Bill ID, bill number, but who uh, miss bought that particular material, then we are creating the invoice or a bill, and that customer ID we are inserting into the bill table, correct? So that's why here customer ID integer, means it is the column of the particular bill table, and data type is the integer, not null. And yeah, here foreign key means references, means that values come from the another table. Foreign key references dbo.customer. Here is the schema, and customer is the table name, and which column? ID, means that ID value is come into the as a customer ID into the bill table. Ideally it should be the customer ID here, and then you can easily identify. Yeah, got it? And suppose I have to drop, right now here is the customer table, got it? And I have to drop the foreign key, sorry, primary key. control. Here is the primary key, and I'm list out first of all primary key, and here is the foreign key. Got it? And if I have to drop primary key, shall I drop? No. First of all, we have to make a we have to drop the foreign key. First of all, we are dropping the primary key. Is it possible? Let's see. Yeah, it does not allow because that table is already referenced by the another table. That's why means this is the error message, and based on that, yeah, he's saying uh, bill is the reference table. Correct. So we have to drop the foreign key constraint first, and then primary key constraint. We have to. So what I will do, I will do, I will dropping FK means foreign key constraint, and oh, what I have to do, bill. Got it? Yeah, and then primary key constraint. Yeah, miss perfect. So in this way, you can drop the constraint on the primary key foreign key relationship, and then in this way there is a single table. There is a nothing dependency. Then you can easily delete that. Yeah, next one is the composite primary key. Here I mentioned. Yeah, composite primary key is the very simple means there are four columns of the table, and let's say four columns, and you require three columns or two columns, means they are uh, uniquely identifying, then and then you can make that as a primary key, composite primary key. Suppose there is a Manish Sonone, and this is the one record, correct, and in future there is a one another record as a Manish Sonone, same, correct, and we are making the primary key on this column, means there is a one, means one Manish and Sonone, and here five Manish Sonone, correct. So ID is the different, that's why it is acceptable, but we are making the entry as a one Manish Sonone, then it will not allow because there is a group of columns having the same values, then it will not allow. It will accept there is a 5, or it will accept Manish, and then if one is same at here but Manish is different, means Manish here is the Ketan Sonone, then it will accept because Ketan is the different. And if in that there is a last name but same combination will not allow again, means here is the one, and then second combination here I am making it as a 5, and here is I am making as a 1, then Manish Sonone instead of that one Manish Sonone. This is the duplicate. This is not allow. So if we make it as a Manish one, then it will allow because ID is same, Sonone is same, but Manish is the different. Correct. So if same record at the same means same value again come, then it will not accept in the primary key, composite primary key, because in the column we have to mention on which column there are one or means there are uh, two or three or four columns are combined in a primary key, then we can call it as a composite primary key. We are setting the primary key on the one column, but if we have to do the restriction same value can't repeat, then you can make as a composite primary key. How to do that? Let's see in the example wise. Yeah, first of all I am dropping the table, so nothing confusion. Drop table, here is the, yeah. So yeah, and here I'm creating the table, but yeah, here is the first name and last name. And right now here are the three values, means three columns are considered in the primary key: id, first name and last name. Correct. So here is the composite primary key. And how to insert that value? Yeah, yeah. In customer table, yeah, Sagar, Pathak, Sagar, Nashik. And if I have to insert again, control Z, one more record, it can be possible. There is a Miss Sagar Patil, Sagar Patil. Right now we are setting it as a three columns to Sagar Patil. Means if three values are same, then it will showing us the error. Yeah, primary key cannot insert duplicate value because duplicate value is this. In the group we are checking value. If we are inserting Sagar 1, then it will accept because that value is not duplicate. Got it? And if I'm making it as a null, is it acceptable? No, because it column does not allow nulls. Cannot insert null value in the first name as per the primary key regulation. How to drop that particular composite primary key? Let's see on particular what is the name created behind of it. Copy it, alter table, table name means customer is the table name. I'm copying it. Drop constraint name means that index name or constraint name means same as here right now. Correct, because it create the clustered index, that's why. Yeah, means that table dropped means sorry, that constraint was dropped means there is a how to drop the composite primary key. Yeah, using this we can drop the, it is same syntax as like the primary key syntax, means we are dropping the same primary key and composite primary key with the help of drop constraint name. And I explained all the things on my blog. Actually here you have to go and there is a SQL Server topics, and here is the primary key. So you will get complete explanation of this, and I will miss add the some questions miss whatever I explained at here, miss clustered index or miss clustered index or miss there allow null value or not, can we duplicate in the clustered value, clustered index. So I will mention these things as well as in the blog, so you will get the complete readiness of the script. And still you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section, and I will try to s- solve this as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and let's see in the next session. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye.